Singing Dutchman Productions. Hello and welcome to Doug's Front Porch Podcast, where I get to sit down with friends old and new and have honest conversations. Today it's just me on the front porch, actually, and there's a couple reasons for that. You know, this is coming out in the middle of August. It's that time of year, the middle of August, which means for most American families, back to school. Excitement, shopping for new clothes, a new backpack, new materials, a new start. As many of my listeners know, I am a teacher. My wife is a teacher. This will be I don't even know what year of my first day of school coming up this year, but it's a lot. Ever since kindergarten, I haven't gone a year since 1985 or 86, whatever it was, that I didn't experience a first day of school. Through high school, through college, and then right into teaching. It's kind of weird to think about, but I can't think about this time of year without thinking about the first day of school. But now as a teacher, things are different than when you were a student. Teaching is one of the few professions that year after year, one has a clean start, a completely new set of students, a completely new set of challenges. For most people, a new start in their job means changing professions or employers. But for us teachers, that happens every year. Just a few short months ago, we said goodbye to our kids. And yes, they are our kids. Some of us are lucky in that we might get to teach some of them again in the future, but for most teachers, when that group of students left their classroom in June, that was it. Goodbye, adios, auf Wiedersehen. But in a few weeks, a new group of kids will walk through our doors, and we will get to start all over again. We'll get to learn a whole new set of names, personalities, learning disabilities, and learning strengths. A new chance to change lives, mold characters, instill a love of learning, or just be the ear that some of these kids desperately need to talk to. Since most of my listeners are not teachers, I decided that I would dedicate an entire episode to the theme Back to School. I reached out to many of my friends that work in public education and asked them if they would be willing to contribute some thoughts of their own. I asked each one of them these three questions. 1. What does back to school mean for you? 2. What are you looking forward to this year? What aren't you looking forward to this year? And 3, how did teaching during COVID change you? So sit back and take a listen to 4 of my good friends that are teachers that are going to attempt to answer those questions. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Ashley Keeler from Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, and 2021-2022 will be my 6th year teaching English learning support and reading intervention at Central Mountain High School. The phrase back to school, that 3-word phrase to me is just like Happy New Year. It's a phrase to me where I make resolutions, wishes, and goals. Back to school is that fresh start and to make a change from the previous year. I'm really looking forward to this school year. I'm looking forward to normalcy. Well, we can hope. I refuse to take on this new norm approach. I'm ready to go back to teaching without breathing my own hot air, without wearing a mask, without having to walk down a hallway a certain way. I'm ready to start teaching and being interactive again. But teaching during this pandemic absolutely changed me as a person. It broke me down, but looking back, it has made me so much stronger mentally and emotionally. It made me appreciate smiles because they were almost impossible to see. It certainly made me appreciate my job and that educators are deemed as essential. We continued to work, even if remotely. The pandemic definitely made me appreciate education and the impact that we have on this younger generation. So thanks for having me, Doug, on your front porch.
Hi, this is Gretchen Geirich from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The 2021-2022 school year will be my 21st year of teaching. I've been a German teacher the whole time, middle school German. So what does back to school mean for me? I guess normally it's sort of like, a little bit of butterflies, a little bit of jitters, getting to know a new group of students, um, trying to figure out, what things I could do differently this year. Usually classroom management is the thing that I need to, um, always improve on. But, this year, I guess what I'm looking forward to this year is, definitely seeing my students again. I feel like with the pandemic last year, we did hybrid teaching and we did in person teaching, we did Zoom teaching. And I personally felt like I got closer with my students because I was just trying to be extra kind to them. We were all in this awful thing together. So I felt like that brought us closer together. So I think the students I had maybe in 6th and 7th grade last year that I will have again this coming year, I'm looking forward to seeing them again. What am I not looking forward to? Just the uncertainty. I will be wearing a mask. It's not mandated, which actually makes me nervous for us, but it is recommended. So I will be wearing one, and that's no fun, but I'm used to it from last year. Teaching during COVID, how did it change last year? Obviously, I had to get used to the virtual aspect, which I'm not great at. When we were doing hybrid and I only had a few students in the room and then a bunch at home, I was able to do a better job at keeping my at home kids maybe in check. And then when we all went back to in person and I only had a handful of kids at home, I don't want to say that I forgot about the kids at home, but it was harder for me personally to keep track of them. Definitely got me to, any of the technology things that I kept saying, oh, I have to learn more about that. It definitely forced me to do that. I'm definitely more comfortable with uploading things to our online platform, which I feel like I will do no matter what from now on because it's just a good place to store things. And if students are absent or they're home for whatever reason, they can more easily access it. But I don't know. I don't feel disheartened. The beginning of last year was extremely hard, but we got through it together. And actually being around my students maybe helped me get through all this craziness because, I wasn't isolated. I was around people. So I don't know. I hope this will be a better year. And I wish everyone else a good school year. Take care.
Hi, this is Nick, aka Mr. Z. I live and teach in the Piedmont of Central North Carolina. 21-22 will be my 19th year of teaching, but my 3rd year at my current school, and my 10th year in the same county and school district, which you may have seen actually on the national news a few times for COVID numbers, or maybe for protests to save/tear down a statue in front of the county courthouse, or maybe for a school board meeting that erupted in yelling. Well, this year I'll be teaching world history and 2 brand new courses, civics and economics, which were one course but are now 2 separate classes. So, what does back to school mean to me? Well, I've actually been back to school all summer. I've been teaching summer school for 9-hour days for the last few weeks. And, well, let me tell you, after the first week, I was out of teacher shape. I was just exhausted. We've all been sitting in front of a computer teaching for the last year and a half, and I was just not used to being up, moving around the classroom, squatting next to desks to be eye level with students, talking so much through a mask, and actually answering questions because, on Zoom, no one was asking questions. But yeah, it's been great interacting with kids again, but it has been exhausting. After week 3, I started to feel back in shape, back in teacher shape. But as we go back to school for real, I think our county is just moving forward no matter what. In person, 5 days per week for everybody, with masks on, of course, but trying to go back as normal as possible. So it will also be a time of a lot of unknowns and probably a lot of anxiety for a lot of students, teachers, adults, parents. But just like always, we'll roll roll with the punches, and we will move forward. But as we return to in person, there's one thing that I think I'll miss from the Zooms. I tried to end each of my Zoom meetings or videos with fill out that Google form and smash the submit button, and stay tuned for the next video. All right, so I am looking forward, though, to seeing students, right? Even if it is behind masks and teaching in person again. The lack of interaction last year was pretty depressing, I think, for a lot of people. So I'm looking forward to teaching this new economics and personal finance class that I did a 40-hour PD for at the beginning of the summer. I'm also looking forward to teaching world history thematically for the first time instead of chronologically. And so what I'm not looking forward to, well, number one, our school is actually going through a number of changes and transitions this year. There's been some major construction of new buildings this summer. We are getting a new principal and 2 new APs, and we're also hopefully getting 2 new guidance counselors. So that's quite a bit of change. Also, I'm not looking forward to kind of the retraining of students on how to school. It's almost like we'll have 3 sets of freshmen in the high school this year, since the rising juniors were only freshmen for half a year. They never got fully acclimated. And then, the sophomores and freshmen have never really even been in the high school. So, another thing is that I'm not really looking forward to enforcing masks or social distancing. It's been somewhat easy at summer school because everybody's just trying to get done with what they need, and the numbers are limited. But yeah. And then finally, what I'm probably looking forward to the least is, well, the growing politicalization of education, with school board meetings erupting in shouting matches, uninformed debates over CRT, and proposed bills that accuse teachers of indoctrinating students. Nope, not looking forward to it. Save that drama for your llama. So we have a school board meeting coming up Monday. Maybe you'll see us on the national news again. Anyway, and so, COVID, teaching COVID style, teaching during the COVID era, presented definitely a new way the teachers had to adapt, as we always do. But, teaching COVID style probably made me a little more compassionate and understanding, right, as we gave grace to students and had to consider their home lives and their situations, as a lot of students, especially in high school, went to work and did their homework or schoolwork in the evenings, and how many had to take care of younger siblings or even older parents or grandparents, so I really had to consider their home lives much more. So I think that's something kind of keep going with. And I realize how much of an impact in-person interactions have on students and just people, just humans in general, right? On both their academic, but also the social emotional level, and for their academic and social emotional growth. Also, with the nature of this last year, I implemented more student choice and more self-pacing, but also had to rethink the kinds of questions asked, right? Because with it being so easy to just look up information and to cheat, I think we have to readjust what we want out of students. So moving forward, I think keep focusing more on skills, right? Problem solving and higher order thinking, and really kind of move away from just like the rote memorization and fact recall, right? All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. And thanks for listening. Thanks for the invite, Doug. I appreciate it, man.
Hi, my name's Jessica. I teach world language. This will be, I think, my 18th year of teaching. It's hard to believe it's been that long. But 2003, 2004 was my first year teaching. So that I should have done the math right there. So your first question, what does back to school mean to me? Well, it means getting back into a routine, getting back onto a schedule, which is something that I do not do during the summer. So it's good for me to be on a schedule. So I do look forward to that part of things. Back to school also means, getting to set up my classroom, which I think most teachers enjoy, decorating, making it their own, making it complementary to the subject that we teach. And I know it might not seem it, but I know the kids do appreciate the effort that we put into our classrooms because they're in there every day just like we are. Back to school also means, I get to see my colleagues again. I get to collaborate, hopefully, with those and, make the lessons meaningful to the kids in all of our classes. What am I looking forward to this year? Well, I'm trying to think about the positive things. We have some new technology that we just got a little bit of a taste of last year, so I am looking forward to finding more ways to incorporate that and utilize that with the students. My department got some new curriculum that we actually really ended up loving, so I look forward to diving into that once again and even, revamping or tweaking a few things here and there. But it was really enjoyable last year, so I do look forward to getting into that again. What am I not looking forward to? Gosh, that's a difficult question because I don't know what to expect for this year. Last year we kind of knew going into the school year how difficult it would be, but to be honest, I don't know if I should expect things to be more normal or if I should expect new difficulties. I guess expect the unexpected, right? So I guess I don't like not knowing what we're going to see. What are the new difficulties going to be? Because I guess if I'm being honest, there's going to be some. So we'll see how the year pans out. How did teaching during COVID change me? Well, I'm a pretty positive person. I'm a naturally happy person. Naturally, I'm in a good mood all the time. But during COVID, I really struggled with that because there were so many stressors and, so many things that we were told we need to show grace in this and we need to show grace in that. And my personal feeling, while I absolutely do not mind showing grace, I have a lot of it to give, but at the same time, I feel like it was taken advantage of. So I felt like all of us kind of gave and gave and gave. And so I'm a little nervous that was something that's going to be expected and nobody's going to sort of step up to the plate and meet any of those high expectations. We can't, not sure how to have high expectations and show grace in every little capacity at the same time. I'm not even sure that makes sense as I'm saying it, but at the moment that's how I'm feeling. So I worry that even though I am a naturally positive person, there is some of that residual negativity that has, seeped over from last year. And I do not want to start this new school year with that, but I have struggled with getting rid of those negative feelings from the previous school year. Summer was not long enough to get rid of all of it. I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe we do have 2 or 3 more weeks until the beginning of school. So we will see, but regardless of what we encounter this year, we will get through it and we will be stronger for it. Better teachers, right? Let's hope so.
I would like to thank Ashley, Gretchen, Nick, and Jess for their input and insight. Some of my teacher friends did not choose to contribute to the podcast. They were honest and said that right now they do not have anything positive to say about the profession and did not want to contribute and be that negative voice. Well, I'll take up the reign for them. Teaching is one of the few professions that is always a target for criticism and in some cases hate. We are attacked by the community, parents, everybody in some instances. Everyone went to school, so they know everything that there is to know. Every week, negative comments are posted on social media about teachers. Angry letters to the editor show up in local newspapers questioning everything going on in public ed. It's tough to take. I'm going to be honest. What everyone needs to know is that the school of 2021 is vastly different from the school of 2001, and those differences increase exponentially as we compare it to the schools of previous generations. Standardized testing, the paperwork required of special education students, teaching to a population that the majority come from broken homes or homes that do not value education, children that live with their grandparents, take care of their younger siblings, or in severe cases don't have homes at all. The days of the family gathering around the dinner table and talking about their day at school and what they learned is a completely foreign concept to most American families. Throw COVID into the mix and wow, what an adventure. In many states throughout America, we are experiencing a teacher shortage. Teachers are leaving the profession at alarming rates. Most estimates are that trend will continue to increase. Education programs at universities are seeing decreased enrollment. What was once a profession that was safe and desired is no longer what it once was. The future is unsure at best. How will virtual school and distance learning change the face of public education? I'm sure that we will all find out sooner rather than later. The 2021-2022 school year will be my 20th year of teaching. I am officially over the hill now. I guess it is only fair that I answer those same 3 questions that I posed to my teacher friends. So here it goes. What does back to school mean for me? Well, I still get excited this time of school year. I was in a group text with some other teachers earlier this week, and the negative comments were flying. Oh, only a couple weeks left, or only a couple days left. Oh, did you read that article in the newspaper about what they're saying about teachers and about the school and what the school board did, et cetera, et cetera. I try to look past that, and I honestly still get excited for back to school. There's something about that clean start that I talked about earlier that is important for me. It is an opportunity to do well, to do new, to do something new, to work with new students. And I honestly get excited. Today I was out shopping with my family for back to school stuff, and that little whatever that was inside me, that tickle or whatever, was there. I was getting a new planner, looking for some new pens. There was something about that fresh, clean start. A new pair of shoes or a new tie for me to wear. Back to school really is a time of year that I do look forward to. So I'm going to stay positive on that. What am I looking forward to this year? Well, I'm hopefully looking forward to a year of quality opportunities and experiences with my new students. This year, I will be teaching pretty much the same schedule that I have the last couple years. I'll have sections of German 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and one section of AP European History. We do block scheduling at the school that I'm at, so that means that each period is about 84 minutes, and we have classes based on the semester. So here in the fall, I'll have my AP European History. I'll also have a section of German 2 and a section of German 1. I'll have all my upper level Germans in the spring. So, what am I looking forward to? Getting to know those new German 1 students, hopefully getting them excited about taking German and continuing with the program. I always look forward to teaching my AP European History class because it not only challenges me, but it also gives me an opportunity to talk about stuff that is relevant today, even though the stuff we're going to be talking about happened 5, 6, 7, 800 years ago. There are so many things that we can tie these events to exactly the world that we are currently living in. And that's always fun to see students make those connections. So that I'm absolutely looking forward to. I'm hopefully looking forward to a year with not as many restrictions as we had in the past. What am I not looking forward to? Well, right off the bat, I'm going to be a little bit of well, I have to say it. Because of scheduling, because we don't have enough teachers, my German 4 and 5 class will be combined. That's going to add a difficult challenge for me this year because my level 5 students and my level 4 students are really far apart on the spectrum of knowledge of German because of the last couple of years with COVID. So that's going to be a challenge for me to figure out how I'm going to balance those two groups in the same classroom at the same time and hopefully provide the type of education that both groups need. So I'm going to really have to put my thinking cap on here throughout the fall to figure out how I'm going to do all of that and make it meaningful for those students. We're going to continue to have negativity, of course. I never look forward to that. Who knows what COVID's going to look like this fall? Am I going to be wearing a mask? Don't know yet. So I'm not looking forward to those uncertainties. But at this point, who knows what's going to happen? And how did teaching during COVID change? Well, let me be honest and explain what my last year looked like. Last year, Every period, I had about 80% of my class physically in front of me in my classroom and 20% logged on in real time to my class, essentially think like a Zoom call. I was teaching to both groups, of course. I was teaching to those kids that were right in front of me, but I was also teaching to those kids that were online with me at the same time. And I will not beat around the bush. That was an extremely challenging situation. Trying to give both groups what they needed was almost impossible. Of course, the kids that were right in front of you were the ones that got a little bit of a better experience. There's no denying that. And I felt bad often at the end of periods thinking about, well, what didn't I do for those kids online that I could have done better? But there are time constraints. There are technology issues. What are you going to do when internet goes down in the middle of a class and you lose those 6 or 7 kids logged on logged on from home, but you still got 20 kids in front of you? I can keep teaching them, but I can't teach those kids that were logged on at home because we don't have internet, for example. Things that are out of my control. Or the program that we use to deliver that content. What if that goes down? Because it did throughout the year. I mean, these are things that happen. And I felt like I was more on my feet this year more than ever before mentally. Maybe not physically. Physically, yeah, I was. But mentally, I was constantly thinking about those two groups of students each period of the day. How was I making sure that, I was providing the best opportunities for both sets? It was mentally exhausting. Physically exhausting too, speaking through, teaching from a mask all day. And the one thing that COVID really did that hurt me, I'm the type of teacher that I like to be out with my kids. I love to sit in a student's desk and in among the kids and have those conversations that need to be had, or to have conversational exchanges in my German classes where I feel like we can actually build relationship. That was extremely difficult this year with social distancing, of course. I didn't do anywhere near as much of that type of exchange that I normally do. I couldn't. And I know that those students last year, my students last year, didn't get the same experience that my students have in the past. I'm hoping that this year some of that will change and I'll be able to go back to that old style of teaching that I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy, being in among my kids. But who knows what the future is going to hold. If anything, I'm a very organized person. Those of you that know me personally know that for a fact. So in the sense of having to be organized to teach in the way that we taught last year, I didn't have to jump over that hurdle because that was something that I already was doing. But nonetheless, I was there to help my colleagues that were not that type of teacher, that needed help with the technology side of things. So we also got, some of us got pulled in a lot of different directions that we've never got pulled before. It was what it was. 2020, 2021 school year is an anomaly, hopefully, and something that we'll never have to experience again. But I don't know what's going to happen next year, and we're just going to have to wait and see, which adds, I guess, to the excitement of all of that. Now, before I end this interview, you've heard from a bunch of teachers, and I think it was time, or at least I thought it was time. Let's get a different voice on. So I'm going to introduce a very special guest here on the front porch. Well, we heard from a bunch of my teacher friends. Now I thought it was time to turn the tables and ask someone that sits on the other side of the desks. And I've invited my daughter, Estella, here into the studio. Hello, Estella. Tell everyone hello.
Hi.
So, Estella, this coming school year, what grade will you be going into?
I'm going into 4th grade.
And what is the name of your elementary school?
Howard Elementary.
So, 4th grade at Howard Elementary. What was 3rd grade like last year with COVID?
We had to wear masks.
Uh-huh.
We weren't allowed to play on the playground equipment.
Okay. Was it tough wearing masks all day long?
I guess so.
Or did you get used to it?
I got used to it. Like, sometimes whenever I was wearing my mask, I felt like I had no mask on.
Oh, you got that used to it?
Yeah.
You didn't even know it was there. Okay.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing about 3rd grade?
My teachers.
Okay. What was so great about your teachers?
They're really nice.
Uh-huh. So now you're going into 4th grade. What are you looking forward to in 4th grade?
The math, the science, all of the classes, I guess.
You're excited about all of the classes and new teachers, and you'll have the same group.
I'm only having one new teacher.
Oh, you're only going to have one new teacher, but you're going to have all the same students again in your class unless any new students come, right? Today we were out shopping. Did you get some stuff for school?
I got a lunchbox, and a water bottle.
A new water bottle and a lunchbox, so you're set to go for 4th grade.
Yep.
What do you think, 4th grade? Do you think it's going to be tougher than 3rd grade?
A little bit.
Okay. What do you think will be tougher?
Probably the math.
You think math will be harder? Okay. You also get to start an instrument this year in 4th grade, right?
Mhm.
Are you looking forward to that?
Mhm.
Do you know what you want to play?
I'm either gonna play the flute or the clarinet.
Okay. Sounds good. Do you think you'll be wearing masks again this year?
I think so.
But maybe not. We don't know.
Maybe not, because the principal sent on Class Dojo and said that masks are optional.
Optional. Are you going to wear your mask in class?
Well, if the COVID numbers go up higher.
Okay. Tell me one thing besides the new teachers and the new school year that you're really looking forward to in 4th grade.
If there's new students, I would be really excited.
Why would you be excited about new students?
Because I would be able to welcome them to the school.
Awesome. Well, that's really nice of you. Yeah? Besides math and those other classes you talked about, what's your favorite special subject? Music, art, gym, library? What do you really like?
I really like music and art.
Music and art. Sounds good. Are you excited about the new school year starting?
Yep.
So you're not afraid to go back?
No, I'm not afraid.
Okay. Well, thanks, Estella.
You're welcome.
So, on August 25th, I will welcome a whole new set of students into my classroom. Am I ready? I think so. Are they? Who knows? Will we be wearing masks? Who knows? Will I have all of the materials that I need to be successful? Who knows? Will my students want to be there, eager to learn? Maybe, but who knows? Will my colleagues be up to the challenge, or will they still be suffering from the hell of a year that last year was? Who knows? What I do know is that I will continue to be the best damn teacher that I can be. I will continue to push my students, challenge them, make them look at the world from different perspectives, attempt to foster a love of learning and an appreciation of the world beyond their front doors. I will continue to create a space where my students are able and feel comfortable enough to be themselves. When they need to talk, to cry, or to laugh, I will be there. Will they all be fluent in German? Most likely not. But will they leave my room a better person than they were when they entered it? I hope so. I wish all of my brothers and sisters in arms a very wonderful new year. To all of the students and parents out there, I wish you all a very successful, fun, and enriching year. Now go get 'em and enjoy the 2021-2022 school year. Thank you for listening to Doug's Front Porch, a conversational podcast with your host, Doug Maidenford. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. 5 stars only, please. Follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just look for Doug's Front Porch. Also, please feel free to tell all of your friends about the show, and I'll see you all next time on my front porch.